Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 459. My name is Christopher Riccio, and I'm here with Travis Baum.
Aloha.
Jason A. Striker.
Shaka Zulu, dude.
What? Jeff Shorty.
Word up, man.
I don't know where this is going, man.
If you know, you know. Man.
Yeah, well,
Travis knows.
Got a hopefully a good show for you guys today. We're going to talk about some games and some news later on. But before we do that, we got to check in on some of our peeps. Jeff, what's up, dude? How are you?
I'm good. I checked out the first 2 episodes of season 2 of Halo this week.
Really?
That's a thing on the Paramounts.
Okay. I feel like we have not talked about this yet.
No.
Shut up, Chris. I'm sorry the recording got botched.
It's better.
What does better mean, Jeff?
Well, Chris, it's kind of like if today's poo was slightly less stinky than yesterday's poop.
Sorry.
So
okay, I'm through it. I'm through it.
It is better.
A little quick side gag before Jeff finishes his comprehensive review on the Halo TV show season 2. We're laughing because this is like the third time we've attempted to record the show, and that's like the third time we've heard Jeff make that joke.
Yes. The third time you just can't do it and actually sound like it's even like it's like, oh god.
It's mental exhaustion, guys. That's what it is. It really is.
Yeah.
So
but no, I do think it's better than the first one. They're catering a little bit more towards the game fans, which they're still not going as far enough in that direction that I think they need to. But they're getting better. Master Chief wears his helmet more, which might not seem like a big deal, but it is kind of a big deal considering they went the opposite direction for the first season, and it's just not Master Chief. And the action scenes are better. The effects are better. They're still not great, but they're better than what they were in the first season. So they definitely upped the budget. So that's good. Won't really get into spoilers. I will just say I am liking this season more, but I'm going into the season with more of I just want to see what they change and how much stuff they do change with the story and just go about it like that. My expectations are super low, but the first 2 episodes were better.
That's what they do, is they put out one shitty season to keep your expectations low, and then they come out with the mediocre stuff. And you're like, hey,
mediocre
this
stuff
so
seems
now.
fantastic.
This isn't so bad, yeah.
What service is that on again? Is it
Paramount Plus?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah. I was like, cool, I can watch Halo and Knuckles, but Knuckles isn't until like April or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
So or May? Is it April? I don't know when
it is.
April. Is it April? Yeah. And I was like, well, I want to watch Halo before all the shit gets out there. So
yeah,
I'm ready for that.
Yep.
Six was it 6 episodes?
6 episodes. 6 episodes
streaming
Knuckles.
event.
Yes.
Of the season.
Yep.
That they thought was big enough that they put him in a fucking Super Bowl commercial. Just saying,
that's right.
You know.
Man.
If you didn't see the Paramount Plus, what's that?
Those movies were successful enough, though. I mean,
they're making a third one. You know,
and that there was a Super Bowl commercial for it. So.
Yeah, and they're making a third one. Jim Carrey is coming back apparently, and like he was going to retire before Sonic started. Like that was from what I understand. But now the Knuckles series. But yeah, if you haven't seen the Paramount Plus Super Bowl commercial, go watch it. It's pretty funny.
It's good. But that's it. That's the only thing I think is worth talking to about on a video game podcast is a somewhat half-baked video game show based on video game.
Jason, what's up, man?
Monitor 1, it no longer goes at 60 hertz. I've tried different HDMI cables. I've tried everything I can. I'm making sure that the laptop is outputting 60 hertz. I even tried 144 hertz. But on the fucking monitor, it's only going 30 hertz. So what do I do?
You need a new button.
I need a different monitor. So
I agree.
So I grab a different monitor, which I know works, which was displaying 60 hertz just fine. But the cable got a little loose, so I tipped it forward to plug in the cable, and it dropped out of my fucking hands, and it landed on my joystick. And if you guys know, a joystick has that joystick pointed straight up. and it cracked the fucking monitor.
Goddamn.
That's monitor
what
2.
Size monitor? What size monitor was it?
32-inch.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm down like 2 32-inch monitors. No big deal, I said. Let me go grab the 32-inch TV that we have boxed up in the other room.
Oh, no.
Sure. Oh, here we go. Where is this going?
No, I unwrapped it. It's fine. I'm sure it works.
Okay.
But I couldn't set it up because there were no legs. So
oh yeah,
I have no legs.
This was me at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just like furious. Just God damn it. So
I have a proposition for you, Jason.
Yeah.
I will buy something nice if I can just ship you my TV.
Oh, okay.
And then you can ship it back to me in whatever shape it happens to be after you mess around with it.
Just send to you away for like a week or something like that. We'll work out the details.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll go on vacation.
When you send it back, make sure that there's a piece of paper that says "oopsie," and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Big oopsie.
So, Jeff, you in the market for a new TV?
Yeah.
Well, I'm always in the market for new TV, but
I want that.
Yes,
I want that 120 hertz, man. I'm tired of watching all these Digital Foundry videos where they're like, "Well, at least we have the 40 frame rate mode," and I'm like, "Well, some of us don't have that, Dick."
Yeah,
I'll turn that on. It's not a problem. The TV that I have in my basement, my good one, it does 4K 120 hertz HDR. But what's interesting is if I do 120 hertz at 4K HDR, I get no sound from my computer.
Oh, weird.
From my PC. So, but if I turn off the HDR, I get sound fine. And hey, I'm colorblind. Fuck HDR. I don't care. You know, it's like it's for me.
This is why I don't play. This is why I don't play PC games. Also, let me just add that.
I mean,
all this crap sucks.
That's fair. There are some quirks, but normally it's a really good, it's a really good option. But yeah. Anyway,
95% of my time is fine, but every once in a while I'll drop a monitor or something.
On a joystick. Anything else, Jason?
No, that's all that really matters. Is those monitors are gone now.
Travis, you have anything?
I just watch football. That was
you just watch football.
Yep. Yeah. Same.
I've got a friend. I've actually got a friend in town from Ohio that I've known since we were 14 years old. Wow. So it's been a hot minute. So we're going to hang out tomorrow and Saturday. And tomorrow we are hitting the Blue Ghost Arcade, which is like an arcade bar that's in like Woodstock area. So so it's out your way, about, it's down by Town Lake Parkway. And then Saturday we're going to Battle and Brew. So I did not even suggest these things. These people are not gamers. And they were like, hey, let's do these things. And I'm like, okay, fuck yeah, let's do it. It's like, I'm good. I don't have to, you have basically gone right into my wheelhouse and I didn't have to say a goddamn word. Nice. So I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. I actually borrowed a bigger vehicle from a friend of mine so I could we traded cars so I could carry 6 people comfortably instead of in the truck that I'm driving around right now. But so yeah, it should be fun. But that's it for me.
Cool.
So let's talk games. What do you want to talk about first?
Lots of stuff. Lots of games. Okay, a couple new ones this week.
Cool.
Okay, go for it.
Did we want to do the Helldivers first because there's multiple, or do you want me to do the one I've been playing first to get that out of the way first?
Whatever you want to do, man. Yeah, Helldivers is fun as shit.
Let's do Helldivers first. Yes. That game is fun as shit.
Fun as shit, and it is super campy, and I love it. Cool. It's straight up like you're in the movie Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I liked when they first showed that off last year at something. I don't know what was the first thing they showed it. We did one of those things here where we did like what we were kind of interested in, and that was one of my picks, and I was like, yeah, I think it looks cool. But then as the date came closer and I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna wait on it. But then seeing all the clips and all the positive buzz around it, I'm like, I'll look into it. Then I heard about the premium battle pass, like the pay to win type stuff, like putting guns and armor.
I was real wary of that one.
It is there. Yeah, it is there. But I'm sure we'll get into it. But I was like, fuck it. It's $50, $40 there. I'm like, I'll do it. And yeah, man, I'm very happy with it. I did buy the premium battle pass because I was like, well, I'm going to give it the good college try and at least see what that's about. And the thing with the premium battle pass is there is definitely guns and armor behind that. But it's stuff that you really probably won't even unlock unless you really put a lot of time in the game to begin with, which kind of gave me a little bit of like, oh, maybe I didn't need to buy this right now.
So even with purchasing it, you have to put in a lot of time into the game.
Oh yeah, because you don't just get that stuff. It's like a total separate tier of unlocks, like the free one is, and you know how you spend those medals to open up the free stuff.
Oh, so
you still have to use those same medals to open up the stuff in the premium. Okay, but here's the kicker.
I gotcha. So it's like on some mobile games, they'll have like these rewards that you get as you play the game, and then there's like a season pass, and it gets you extra rewards. Is that kind of how that works?
Yes.
Yeah,
and none of it.
Work.
Yeah, and it's not really like a cosmetic thing either, and that's where a lot of people have a lot of issues, especially me. Like it has stuff in it that other players just simply will not get, and it's like stuff like better guns that have like better stats. And it's not PvP, but it's still like, oh, it's kind of like that kind of sucks because other games like Diablo doesn't do that. There's other games that are PvE that don't do that, but and the kicker, the thing that really bugs me is when you look at the tiers in the free one, there's like tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to like 8 or something like that. And before you can go to tier 2, you have to spend a certain amount of those medals in tier 1. And I looked at the premium battle pass one, dude, there's only 3 tiers of it. And some of them require you to spend like 800 or 1,000 of those fucking medals before you can even think of unlocking them. So unless this game hands out those medals like hand over fist, the more you play it, and like like that could take a long time. And I don't know. Last time we played, Chris, the other night, I think we pretty much got you like pretty much to where I was anyway. Like maybe I was
level 4 or so when
I think I ended level 6, but I did in terms of missions. I think the most payout I got was 4 of those coins or 5, except for the glitch that they had problems when it launched where it accidentally paid me out like 27.
Oh damn.
Then I just bought a bunch, like I bought a lot of the stuff on the free pass just to be like, I'm doing this now and hopefully they don't take it away. And they didn't take it away. So but yeah, man, it's fun. It gets hectic, it gets crazy.
Have you played any of the missions with the fucking robots?
Yes, dude, I have. Like the Terminator type thing.
Wreck you, man.
Yeah, they do.
They have the bug stages, and then they have like the Terminator stages. And the Terminators, there's like different versions of them, and some of them are like they have like big like almost like AT-ATs like coming at you and on some of these robot stages, and like one of the bots is like super big and he's got like this big ass shield in front of him, and everything just like pings off the shield, and like shit gets real, man. But it's really fun. It's really fun.
And friendly fire is on all the time. You can't turn it off.
And it's fun. It's fun. That's for sure. It's fun.
It's fun. I mean, like Chris and I think this is in Chris. Yeah, Chris and I were playing, and I called down an orbital strike, one that I just unlocked and I haven't used yet. And the one you start with, it does an orbital strike in like a concentrated area, so you pretty much know where it's going to hit. And the second one I opened was you throw down your orbital strike and it kind of hits randomly, but in a certain area. And
it's like an orbital Gatling gun event. Essentially, the orbital Gatling gun. That's the one you're talking about.
No, it's a different one. It's one that has like, I'm not sure, these mortars that come down in like sporadic bursts. And the first one hits it, and I'm like, okay, it's killing some things. And all of a sudden, Chris like, killed by Goffy, what the hell? And I'm like, oh shit, sorry, I thought we were way out of that. Next thing you know, I got hit, and I just got blown into pieces, and like my arms and legs are going everywhere. I'm just like, okay, that was pretty funny.
Nice. That's something funny too. It's like when you actually get if you get blown up, like it'll tell you that your arms and legs are gone. Like it's just you're just a body like floating around now somewhere.
Yeah, or like a head.
But shit like that is super fun. Yeah, go ahead, Travis.
The orbital strike is the one thing in that game that really kind of stands out to me, because I was more or less kind of turned off initially by the pay to win context.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, and it's a $40 title over here, so it's pretty affordable. I just didn't know. My question was like, if I spend money on this, like how many times am I going to play this? Because I hear the chatter online. I know that this game is generally more fun when you play with a group of people, and how much. I mean, we have some big games coming up in the next month or two, and how many people are really going to be playing this? So I opted out.
How fast is it going to burn out?
Yeah, but then I go on my 3-a-day dog walks, and that's my TikTok time for the day, is when I'm out taking the dog. And every walk there is a video of these goddamn orbital strikes. And it makes me go, maybe I can throw a couple of shekels at it, who knows. So like it's one of those things where like I see so many awesome moments that like for a podcast, you can tell it is this epic story of something completely random, not scripted, and just flat out fun and memorable.
This would be a fun game for the four of us together. It really would be. Yeah,
I think it'll be a great opportunity whenever this game hits a little bit of a sale. Because honestly, I'm shocked by what you're saying. I'm shocked that this game's not free to play. Like, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. $40, and then like
the way and then they have a battle pass with it. Yeah,
I would not be surprised if there's a patch.
The major grind's only for the paid for battle pass. The free battle pass, there's a lot of stuff in it, and it doesn't seem as grindy. Like, it is going to be grindy. All battle passes are grindy to some extent. But if you want to buy the premium one, it just seems like that's literally it looks like it's meant for end game players who are really, really into it. Like, it's I could be wrong. If you have the battle pass, anyone listening, let us know. Or the
regular pass, like the first card, like he was saying, there's like several cards. The first card says spend 8 coins, and you spend 8 coins, and it gets you to the next card. And on each card, there's like there's another form of currency that when to buy the battle pass, it's actually 1,000 of this currency, and you can actually buy the premium currency. You can actually buy some of that on the battle pass. And then there's each card has a weapon, a helmet, a cape, body armor, and then I think an emote, and then like a what do they call the backgrounds? I can't remember what they call it.
I don't like the card things.
Like an emblem, like an emblem.
Yeah.
Okay. So to start with, it's like the regular stuff is much cheaper to buy from what I've seen. But I'll say, like, one of my favorite things that like I've only played 2 sessions, so I'm not going to say I'm like an expert or anything like about this. But when Jeff and I were playing, Johnny as a boy jumped into our game. And the great thing about this game is that like dying doesn't hurt as much because you've got like 15 lives, and you just call a reinforcement, and it just brings you back in. So and it's relatively quick, but you don't start with a heavy weapon. You have to call in the heavy weapon. So if you call in a heavy weapon and then the cool-off timer expires, you can call in another one. So Johnny called in 3 of his heavy weapons, and he's like level 11, so he's way past us. And he had this this gun,
like a cannon.
It was a auto cannon. It's just called auto cannon. Like, it's literally like firing giant explosive rounds, right?
Yeah.
And one of the cool things about it, and I haven't seen this in other shooters, is you can actually go up to another player that's using this weapon and reinforce them. So you'll get up right next to them, and there's like an ammo backpack, and they'll hold on to the ammo backpack. They'll stabilize you so you're actually more accurate with it. Wow. And then as you're firing it, the dude's reloading. The guy is reloading your gun, so you never have to reload.
That's cool.
It's super cool, and it was just really interesting how like I'd never seen that happen. There may be other games that do that, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I haven't really, none pop into mind. But that also, like, I think Travis's concerns are totally valid, though. One, the example you just gave, you can't experience that in solo play. You're not like, some of those weapons are almost useless. Especially the rocket launcher. There's a rocket launcher that does the same thing, where you can have somebody load in the shells. But if you don't have that other person doing that, the reload times are freaking long. Yeah, it's like basically a one shot. Then you got to wait. And how long have we been playing this for? it's easy for me to say, fuck, I'm not going to be stopping anytime soon, but that could all fucking change next week. Like I don't know. Like I have 3 games on the go right now. Right? Yeah. Final Fantasy's coming out in like 2 weeks. Yeah, it's like, I want to play more. But who knows? Like Street Fighter 6, man. Like I was playing a shitload of that, but the second there wasn't that many people that I personally knew to play with, I just stopped playing it. Yeah. So that could very well happen. I don't know. But I don't know. It's sorry. Someone was going to. I was going to say I played. There's some other VG Evo folks playing it too. Like I played yesterday with Tom, Mad Scientist, and Sass Bob, and that was a lot of fun too. And we were all pretty close together level wise. Like I think Bob and I were both 4, and I think at the time Tom was, I want to say he was 6 maybe. So we all had relatively similar weapons, but the friendly fire definitely gets interesting. Like there was one particular moment where there's like bug holes that open up and you have to throw a grenade in the hole and it explodes and closes it. And, you know, we were talking about the friendly fire and how he got blown across the screen or something like that. And I just told him, I was like, well, the next time you see someone throw a grenade in the hole, don't go look in it. Okay, that's a bad idea. Don't go look in the hole.
Because I threw a grenade and then he threw one immediately after me and then walked over to the hole and it blew up and he went literally like 200 meters the other direction. Like he just
rookie move, blown. Man.
I don't think he died though. That was the funny part. It's like he just got blown in that direction.
Yeah, you can ragdoll for a long time if you're just in like the blast radius. Yeah, and I forgot this game. The first game had this too, and what makes it even more hectic is all the orbital strikes, all the call-ins are done via like Mortal Kombat fatality type inputs with the D-pad. You hold down R1 and then put in the combo. So like in hectic moments and you forget or input something wrong, you're like, shit, and then all hell can break loose. And I'm looking forward to it. I've seen some clips of like some of the big ass monsters and stuff that you can you fight. It's
some of the stuff online is pretty crazy. It's definitely a game where if you're just like glancing through, it's an easy game to grab you for sure. I just hope they clean up
it's a mess.
Pay to win stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's even a mess server wise. It's
really?
Every time they fix something, they seem to break something else right now. I guess I think that's because it's a small developer, and I don't think they expected this. Like it sold 1 million or something like that in its first week across PC and
good for them.
And PS5. So it's doing probably much better than they anticipated. And I think Jason picked it up too.
Yeah, I got it too. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. So
did you get a PS5 or did you get it on PC?
PS5, yeah. Okay. At the time, like it was on fire on PC, so server issues and such. So
yeah, Bob had it on PC and we were able to play it crossplay. Cool. But he did have a moment where he got booted. Right when I joined up, we were about to start a mission, and then he ended up getting booted, and we had to kind of reset everything. But other than that, it was pretty smooth. Cool. So
I've never had any boots yet. But when I played with Aces. Aces High has it on PC as well, and he got booted a couple times when we were playing. So I definitely think it's a little bit more time in the oven, especially for the PC version.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety there too, with like weaponry and orbital strikes, and they've got like they'll have planes come in and do flybys and like drop in all kinds of armaments on the battlefield, and like it's a good time. It's a really good time. So I would I definitely want to make sure that we get some more time in it this week before the next show.
How much do the objectives change from map to map?
So I've seen some of the objectives that I've done is like there's optional objectives on every map too, right? So there were a few where we had to destroy the bug holes. And then we had to, there was the robot one, there's like drop ships and you have to find the drop ships and destroy them. And then there's like, there's different objectives where you have to find and properly aim like radar dishes for missile launches and things like that. And yeah, there was one where one of the ones that we did yesterday was we had to basically set up a missile launch. and it shoots this nuke off into the distance, and you just see this giant explosion happen. And it was,
that sounds cool.
I don't think I've done this. But as I said, I'm still pretty early on. I've only run maybe 6 missions or so, but I haven't run the same mission twice. So there is some variety.
So far, are the missions do they consist of just your 4-man squad versus the world, or is there like a matchmaking situation where you can do like a big team battle where you have like 4 squads kind of?
No, it's just your own squad.
It's your own squad, but there is matchmaking though if you want to jump in with randoms to do stuff. So. And what's interesting is like the way that they do the and I don't know how all this part works yet, but when you're choosing a mission, there's like there's like areas on the galaxy map that you choose, and it's like this one is this much liberated, and this one is this much liberated, and it looks like you have to progress through them. So and everyone who plays the game is contributing to the liberation of that section of the map. So that when I played with Jeff, the first section of the map that we saw said like it was like 90-something% liberated. Well, when I played yesterday with Bob and Tom, we couldn't select that anymore because it was liberated already. So we had to go to the next section of the map. So there's like a combined effort with everyone playing the game that's happening here, and I think that's pretty cool too. There was other games that have done that before, but it's been a while.
I just don't like that it potentially blocks off content though. Like I know that the planets are procedural generated apparently, like at least the where some stuff is, but I don't like the fact that it closes off a section of the map, because then I feel like it's just cutting off content, which I'm sure is not the case, but it gives that kind of like illusion of like, oh shit, like I like that planet, I want to go back there, I wanted to do another mission on that planet, but nope, can't do that now. So I'm hoping the biomes are, there's enough of them and you see them again as well.
Yeah, I have a feeling you'll see some things repeat. So,
I almost guarantee it probably happen. Like I'm sure if we do keep playing this in about 3 weeks time, we're gonna be like, oh fuck, I wish there was more.
Playing this in 3 weeks. You guys are so funny.
Yeah, I know, right? You'll be lucky if you play it by Saturday. Cool.
Yeah, highly suggested though. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah.
Yes.
What else, Jeff?
The other one I've been playing is Banishers, Ghosts of New Eden.
Okay.
And that's the Don't Nod one. Right? Yeah, it's new. It came out on Tuesday. That's the new one from Don't Nod, and it's the team that did Vampire.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys played that. That was pretty cool too.
It was pretty good. Yeah. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was surprising for when Vampire came out. It was surprising that this was like the Life is Strange developer. Okay. Like I was like, wow, they can do non-narrative decision-based games as well. Because Vampire, has its issues. It is a flawed game for sure, but they have some really great ideas in there. So hopefully some of those ideas and things that they learn transfer over into this game.
Yeah, for some things, I think from what I remember from Vampire, they have some of the combat. Well, I'll give you the rundown first. So basically, you play as a character named, you're Red and another character named Antia, and you're husband and wife, and you're basically Ghostbusters in the 16th century.
Nice.
For lack of a better comparison. And what actually ends up happening, and I kind of wish they didn't give this away in all the marketing, but Antia dies, and she's your wife. And when you're a banisher, when you're basically going to, someone is haunted by a ghost. You got to find out who's haunting them, and then you can decide whether or not. Yeah, you either banish them, which is basically like killing them again. I'm going to kill you harder. You can ascend them, which is basically like them going to the next, ethereal area or heaven, so to speak, whatever. And then, or you can decide to kill the human because they're douchebags or whatever.
It's like Supernatural, where the brothers are married. Okay, I get it.
Yes, yeah. When it's Supernatural, I don't know. I haven't seen that.
It's a great show.
But I thought you made a comment there that is very funny with the very first. I was gonna be like, "Did you play this?" But there's one of the first investigations. That's kind of similar to that. But anyway, so when she dies, you find out that you can bring her back to life. But you have to sacrifice the living so she can get their essence back and get revenge on the the demon or ghost that killed her, and of course you love her and she's your wife and blah blah blah, and you want to do that. So that's where the moral choice comes in, where you do these investigations where you find these people that are being haunted. You got to kind of do like a investigation, perform rituals to find out evidence and the whole story from the ghost point of view, from the living's point of view, and then you got to make that decision. But I can see that being hard because some of the decisions you'd be like, well, I'm going to kill these innocent people just to bring my wife back. So you kind of have to figure it out. And then from the first story, it was kind of an easy choice, but they kind of basically flat out tell you, this is the easy choice. It's going to get way harder after this. And you're controlling the two characters back and forth. Antea, the one who's the ghost, you see a different realm. Like that's a thing now in almost every game. So you can see certain things in that environment. You can call her in mid combo and stuff like that. And you're fighting with a sword and a torch and you get a rifle. And that is where my main issue with it is. The combat does feel kind of floaty and it doesn't have a lot of weight to it. And that is something that those games kind of have an issue with previously, like Vampire or Vampire. And like, have you guys ever played the Spiders games? Like
Spiders.
Like Greedfall or
I played Greedfall.
Steel Rising, I think is their newest one.
They have a new one coming.
Yeah, they're kind of like that, where the combat is good enough, but it's just missing something. It just doesn't feel quite right. But the writing is awesome. The characters so far seem great. The choices are gonna be tough. I can tell right from the get go. But it's been interesting, and we're playing it as a part of a game club thing I'm in, the social game club. So a bunch of us are playing it and talking about it. But it's I don't know. It's cool so far. I'm definitely digging it. I might have to put it on the back burner just for a little bit because I need to either finish Infinite Wealth or something before Final Fantasy comes out. So, or I put Final Fantasy on the back burner. And I thought I had more to say about Banishers, but I honestly can't think of anything right now. Characters, combat, sound seems okay. It's got it's it's a typical AAA or AA game, really. But yeah, it definitely looks better than Vampire. And the writing seems a little bit better. And it seems it just seems more solid, except for the one thing that stands out is the combat. Yeah. That's it, other than Infinite Wealth, but I figured Trav's going to talk a lot about that, so I don't have much to say. So that is it on my end.
That's a great segue. I appreciate it. So I'm playing Infinite Wealth still. Jason, you're playing that as well. I am no longer a dragon.
I'm no longer like a dragon. I am a dragon.
Damn it! There you go. So you saw that tape.
I beat
you
that
rolled
game.
Credits.
Yes, I rolled credits.
Nice.
Even the after show afterwards. So I've seen it all.
I mean, I talked about it before. It's like, what are your thoughts now that you've seen credits overall with the game?
I'm a little disappointed in that. A good half to back third of that game is Kiryu takes center stage, and there's a lot of reminiscing, throughout his life, because he's the man with no name now, and he's supposed to be dead, and so there were a shitload of flashbacks, and him reminiscing over certain scenes that was just completely lost on me, unfortunately.
Same. I feel
that's not a fault of the game, but
if you're a longtime I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you're a longtime Yakuza fan, I can only imagine how heartfelt some of this content was.
Exactly, and that's the flip side of it. So yeah, like I don't have that long-standing history with Kiryu. So, but people that do, there's a fuckload of stuff that you can go through to get you not additional, but just like trapeze, trace. I don't know, through the memories of him. So overall, I really dig it.
I agree. I think overall, when I look back at this game, I'm in chapter 13 right now, about 75 hours in, so I'm pretty close to the end.
Yep,
and
very close.
I do find myself, I'm enjoying the Kiryu stuff. And even though I don't find I don't have a history with Yakuza games to like really feel these moments and everything. I think the game gives you enough context to figure out like who's really important in his life.
Sure.
But the one thing that I loved about Kiryu's section, like, you know, when you're Ichiban and you have your entire map of Hawaii, you have all of your icons on a map for mini games and different sub stories and everything. So, and it definitely like the previous game and also like previous open world games, like it can become like, okay, I'm basically making an itemized list of everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
The one thing I did like the most, even though I found myself wanting to be in Ichiban's shoes whenever I was with Kiryu, the thing that worked for Kiryu was you're still going over from, you know, going through your maps and you're going from icon to icon, but the activities actually made more sense with Kiryu because everything was connected with his past.
Yeah.
So you're doing a whole bunch of like, okay, go and fight this group of enemies, or go and find these items, or go and do this sub story, or go and meet this character, or just find the spot in the street and reminisce. Everything is connected. Everything has a point, and that point is centered into giving Kiryu the opportunity to kind of like fully take stock of his life and gather about what he wants to do going forward.
Yeah.
So in terms of like the gaminess, the gamification of this, going out and doing the activities make so much sense with Kiryu. But I just have more fun. I think the gameplay, I think Hawaii is more interesting.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I think I like the first Like a Dragon a little bit better. I think I'm liking Ichiban's first adventure as a whole better.
As a whole, definitely.
Yeah, but I will admit, like what they did with some of the characters here easily is on par, and in a couple of instances, I think rivals. Especially with Kiryu and Ichiban's companions, they did a really good job of giving you opportunities to take your time as you're going through and leveling up with your characters and like really getting to know them. There are multiple opportunities now to get to know characters, not just, okay, you've reached 10 ranks of their trust, so now you can go and talk to them in a bar. Like they're still there, but there are more like little instances on the road where you can walk around and you can like start a conversation and you just get more information. They like added more
like random flavor text. It's pretty great.
Yeah, and it's really good. And sometimes I would find myself, okay, read through it quick. And same thing, like when you go and eat at a restaurant, you'll get a scene with the 4 or 5 year characters sitting down eating. I found myself like, okay, quick, hurry. But I was like, oh my God, no, this is great. Why am I skipping this? Like everything is so well written. So the character to character moments I'm enjoying so much more. But like, I think the overall plot, I really enjoyed Ichiban's first adventure a little bit more. And I think it has to do, Jason, with what you're saying, the swapping back and forth with the party. It's jarring.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them share classes and weapons. So it's like I have to go and have to swap their weapons and gear over. And it's like, oh, it's so aggravating.
I didn't like that part either.
Yeah.
But
or like, even just buying armor and weapons, like having to know which stores to go to and just going through the menu. I was like,
yeah.
Like, you can't even do it by a menu. You have to do it by the map. Unless there's an easy way to do it.
It's problematic for like armor. But when you're looking at like what kind of gear do I need for a specific class, like the classes are rooted in reality, and it's like a few dancer classes. So like that there's like there's a store that says, I don't know what the name is, but under it it'll say dancing apparel store or something like that.
Oh, there's like a tool shop where you could pick up a wrench for the cabbie. You know?
But you still have to go to those specific stores, and what I mean is like,
and then you got to find them on the map first. So
that's what I mean. You got to find it on the map. You have to search around, find it, then go to it. I just wish there was more of like not necessarily a one-stop shop, because even like stuff like Baldur's Gate kind of does things kind of similar to that. But I wish there was more options to be like, okay, like filter through. I'm looking for a specific job, and where can I highlight it on the map? Where can I find stuff for this job or something?
They do have a couple stores that are just like all purpose like that. Like they have everybody's armor, but like everything's like level 6 or something like that. You just have one shop to go to, but that's not till later in the game.
Oh, okay. And just before you move on, just because you mentioned the skipping stuff, I started skipping stuff that was like the non-speech stuff. Like I thought I was kind of like skimming it.
Okay.
And I stopped doing that because I was doing a quest or a mission. And then I'm going and I found the person. Then it's like, Oh, who did you say you were looking for again? And I was like, oh fuck, I forgot the name.
Nice.
It gives you like it gives you like 3 things, and I was like, oh no.
Oh,
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start paying attention.
Just a real quick aside on skipping text and dialogue. I started playing the Grand Blue Relink game, and if you go to skip dialogue there, it'll actually give you like a summary of what you're skipping, which is super cool.
Oh, that's
like
kind of cool.
Just a 2-sentence thing.
Like the important stuff.
Exactly. It's pretty neat. It's that
game's getting hyped, man. I'm reading a lot of good things.
I think that's
online
what I'm
about Grand Blue
next. But
yeah, very cool. But back on the items that just continue to make Infinite Wealth a great game. They really did a lot to improve. Jason, did you talk a lot last week or the week before about?
Jeff asked me about that, and I've been so long removed from the first one that I didn't really the quality of life stuff didn't really stand out to me, I guess. So,
right.
So if you can touch on that, go for it.
Yeah. Coming directly from the first Like a Dragon, there are definitely some improvements. The first improvement you're immediately going to find is during combat. Previously in the first Like a Dragon, when combat ensues, it is, your group versus another group. It is all turn-based, but your characters and the enemy characters were automatically controlled. Their movement was automatically controlled by AI.
That's right. Yeah. Sure.
So if you were trying to like line up a shot, or if you were trying to pick up a traffic cone to use it as a weapon, you had to wait and see if your character was going to walk and drift over it. That was probably the first thing they wanted to fix on their list with this game. Was now you have a small sphere when it's your turn. You have a small sphere to move around, and as you level up, that sphere gets bigger and bigger, wider and wider as you level up, giving you more opportunity to move around. And that's something this game does so well. It respects your time. When you think you're in something that, oh my God, this is going to be a huge grind, they find a way to say, okay, you've taken a couple of hours and you've done this the manual way. We're going to throw you a couple of ducats here, and we're actually going to make this process faster for you. That is double time in all of the side missions in this game. The Pokemon, the side games, the Pokemon game, which is, I enjoyed it. It wasn't deeply intriguing. When you have the Pokemon game, you have the you have the 2 main games. You have the island, which is a resort that you have to build from the ground up. Which is just
Animal Crossing. Yeah,
just Animal Crossing. And believe it or not, like when I first started playing it, I was like, I'm not going to get into this. I wanted to get into it because in the first game, I was
mad because they throw you in there and they're like, okay, you have to get to this certain point.
You have to do it.
In order to advance the story, and I was about ready to walk out. I was mad.
Not happy. I started hitting trees and rocks, and I'm like, oh no, what are you doing?
Yep.
Don't make me do this.
Luckily, it wasn't for as long as they initially said. So that's
but Jason, I started liking it.
Oh shit! I barely touched it, and I kept getting like DIY blueprints for stuff that I wanted to fucking make. And it's like I want to make a Kiryu statue. I want to make a blue convertible. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. Maybe
I gotta send you videos of my island, man. It's so good. Nice. My resort is so top notch. It's so good. And like I wanted to do it. I was gonna make myself do it at first, and then I eventually started liking it. But I knew I wanted to make myself because in the previous game you had the business management sim.
Yep.
Which once you completed that, like money was not an issue in the game. You can just run that sim, gain money, and you're set. And I wanted the same thing for Dondogo Island. It works just as well for that. So I'm glad I have that thing fully scoped out. So if ever money is an issue, I have it.
Good.
And again, like I said, they did a really, really good job of taking these actions, these game loops that generally I just tried Power World and I didn't get it. But for some reason, I just got it. And then once I was like, okay, for a second, this is starting to get a little tiring. Suddenly, they find a way to speed up that process and make it better and make it faster. And I'm like, okay. And they do that all throughout this game.
Yeah,
they really do. They do
very
a really
little situations in which I've found myself grinding to get more money or anything like that. Like they give you enough like during the regular story missions. So as Travis said, they do respect your time. Which is cool.
And they actually, in the second game, they actually tell you exactly when to grind. There are 2 moments where 2 dungeons open up in the story, and they say, maybe you should think about doing a little training in this area. They tell you the 2 spots you should grind. And I say grind, it's just run the dungeon once.
Yep.
Just run it once. You'll get like 5 levels and you'll be up to level. They do a really great job with that. It is.
I get some really good shit too. So there's lots of good loot for clearing it or just finding shit. It's great.
Yeah. And Ichiban is still my favorite character.
Oh, he's so fucking lovable. Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's so, and it breaks my heart because you look at what, he is going to be taking the baton for Kiryu going forward and running with the Yakuza series or the Like a Dragon series.
Yep.
And it just breaks my heart because like you see what Kiryu has gone through his entire life. And it's like Ichiban is so happy. He's so loyal. Mm-hmm. He's so trusting. I'm like, what is he going to turn into?
Oh, God.
Like 5 games from now, what is he going to be? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to look back at him and be so sad that he used to be this happy person. So I'm not looking forward to the transformations that Ichiban is bound to have to go through.
Or he joins the Grand Blue Fantasy clan for cooperation, becomes the captain.
It's a chairman. It's a chairman. Get it right.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but like one of the final scenes with Ichiban, he does not stray from his creed, I guess. So
yeah,
like he's loyal to a fault at times. Like he'll put trust in people that he probably shouldn't, right?
Oh, if he doesn't get double crossed at least 3 times in one game, it's not. We're not doing it right. You're not. Ichiban's not doing it right. So, but that's it, man. I think I'll have it beat by then. But I love this series.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that it doesn't take this developer very long to put out sequels.
I'm not quite ready to leave that universe. Right.
Right.
Yeah. I might buy the actual like New Game Plus stuff. As shitty as that sounds. I kind of want more, right?
Yeah, I think they would have went back on that already if they were going to, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a shame. If you like it, go for it. Right?
Mm-hmm. We'll see. All right. Who's next?
Jason, you got anything else?
No, man, that's it. I did my toes back into Grand Blue and that fucking dragon pet friend that you have already called somebody a dumb face or something like that. Or a mean butt or something like that.
It was a poo-poo head.
Yeah. Poo-poo head. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm like, this is such a stark contrast to Yakuza. I don't know if I can, that's how I found out you could skip dialogue and they give you a
You got to play something like really
push all the buttons and eventually something works, right?
Yeah.
play The Last of Us 2 and then play Grand Blue right after that.
I was thinking that. Yep.
I don't know if I'm ready.
I do need to play Last of Us 2. It's on my backlog.
Did no one play the Final Fantasy Rebirth?
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
We talked about that a lot.
Yeah, talked about it last week.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Did you play it, Travis? Did you want to comment on it?
I did not. I want to go in fresh.
Yeah. I haven't played it yet, so I'm actually in the middle of remake. So I'll jump into my stuff. I'm in the middle of remake still, so I think I don't really want to. I don't want to say the word taint because I don't feel like that's the one. Out of context, I don't want to say that
that's a good word.
That's a good. I don't want to say that. I don't want to use that phrase for what I'm trying to do. But I want to get through remake first before I mess with anything.
Yeah, you don't want to chode your experience.
Yeah.
I think I'm around halfway. I just got to chapter 12, I think. So I got Aerith and she's adorkable. I mean, she's just really funny to see the interaction. Adorkable, yeah.
Okay,
that's what I meant.
No, I like that. No, I'm not. Yeah, no, I've just never heard it before.
But her interaction, her and Cloud's interactions are just so funny to watch. And we just got back to Sector 7. So after getting Aerith and going through, the Sector 6 slums and doing all that stuff, and we just got back. I just got back to Sector 7, so that's about where I'm at. I still don't have Red, so I know I still got a ways to go. But it feels like I'm about halfway. I think I saw something on PS5. It shows you're this far, and it's they said like 50%. So maybe I guess. Cool. But nice. I am still enjoying it. Fuck the Hell House. fuck that thing. Seriously, I hate it. It's awful.
I didn't have any problems with that, dude.
Fuck that thing.
But I also played on easy, so
okay, I'm not playing. Why. I'm not playing on easy, and I did not register. I do not pay attention. So this is I hate talking about this so much, but because of my color blindness, I don't pay attention to color very much. So when the windows change color, indicating that he changes elements, I wasn't even paying attention to that. So like I went in I went in the first time and wasn't properly equipped, but I used the what's the ability that allows you to kind of scan the enemies. Yeah. So, and it said that he was weak to ice. I'm like, all right, cool. So he kicked my ass the first time. Second time I went in with ice builds, and Cloud had an elemental materia linked to an ice materia, and, started trying to go to town. And then he switches to lightning, and Cloud's sword just fucking bounces off. I'm like, oh, fuck. So Shit. The second time I did end up beating him, but it was a grind. Like, it took me like 10-15 minutes to get through that battle. It was just, and I just used so many different resources to try and keep my MP up and like keep all them healed. But yeah, that was so fuck the Hell House. Seriously.
I will.
And I'm enjoying the game, but I am not a fan of what they've done with the combat. It's like they were like action, but turn-based, and they didn't really do either one really well. So it's like, pick one. You could have just picked one, because you did great with the action with Final Fantasy 16, and the turn-based in Final Fantasy 7, the original, was great. So you should have just picked one, in my opinion. But
my problem is not necessarily the combat. I just don't like swapping between all the different characters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, unless you are on a character, their ATB doesn't charge, and that's stupid. Like, it should charge anyway. It does, but much slower. Much slower. Like, it should charge anyway. And I still haven't tried Classic. I'm wondering if you switch to Classic, if everybody charges faster.
I switched to Classic to try it out on the demo for Rebirth, and I did not like it.
It's tough.
It's weird because they're still
they're fighting for you, and you're just doing you're doing all the other stuff you're doing in the regular style. Except for you're just not hitting the button to attack. They're doing that for you, and they're just telling them when to use abilities. So, I mean, if you really don't like the hitting the button part of it, then I guess it would make sense. I personally didn't like it, but again, I also don't really love the combat either. But it's the same in Rebirth, man. So if you're not loving the combat by the end or now, that shit ain't gonna change. So
I know. It's but that's the thing is that I don't absolutely despise it or hate it or anything either. It just there are certain times when I'm playing that where something will happen, and I'm like, I really wish this game would make up its mind what the fuck it wants to be. Because like dodging, like the fucking roll doesn't do anything. Like there's it's, and I don't know. There are moments where it just feels like where I'm out of the way of an attack, but the attack can still hit me. So it's like, well, you want to be turn-based then. And then I swing and as I'm doing one of my moves that uses ATB, the enemy moves out of the way and does not get hit. It's like, well, make up your mind. Like, which one is it? And I think probably one of the biggest things that pisses me off is when you use an ATB ability and then get hit and knocked down, and it uses your ATB bar anyway, even though the move does not
remember
go
that
off.
Bugging me too.
That fucking annoys the shit out of me. It's like, heal. Oh no, I didn't heal, and now my dude is dead. Thank you. It's just I just wish they would have picked one. Because 16 proved that they could do a good Final Fantasy with action combat, and we already know that 7 was great as a turn-based game. So I just wish they would have picked one. And I wish Classic was actually Classic and not this with auto attack. Hybrid. So it's certainly not enough to make me like not play the game anymore. But it's just moments, it's like, it's moments where the combat doesn't work. And and I just, it's one of those things of frustration. And it's like, all right,
it's understandable.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. Like, same thing. I think I liked it a little bit more, but it's for me, it's just a thing of getting used to it again. Like when I played the Rebirth demo, I was like, "Oh, I don't think I like this combat." But then I was like, I remember liking it in the first remake, so I think I just need to get used to it and get used to the like the cycling through the characters and doing all that stuff. So yeah.
Let's see. The only other thing I played,
a good RPG, turn-based combat. Like a dragon.
Grand Blue? It's on my list. It's on my list, Jason. It's on my list.
If you love turn-based combat and Japanese melodrama, Like a Dragon is for you.
For you. I'm not going to go
Persona.
I'm not going to go
Persona.
Or Persona.
Or
I'm not going to go into too much detail about my last game. We are continuing our 4-player Baldur's Gate, but I'm sorry. I just gotta I gotta geek out about my character set up with you guys right now, because she is unhittable right now. So I'm running a rogue bard, and I think I started as a bard, and it's a swords bard, so she gets to wear medium armor. There's one set of medium armor in the game that has an AC of 17 and allows you to apply your entire dex modifier. I'm using finesse weapons, so I put everything into dex, so she has a +5.
Damn.
So now I'm up to 22. She's doing dual wield, so that gets you an additional point of AC, so now she's up to 23, right? Then, as a swords bard, you can use defensive flourish and get +4. So now she's up to 27. And I'm wearing the cloak of displacement, so everybody rolls disadvantage when they attack me head on. My character is unhittable. It's great. I love it. I just walk into the front of everything and I'm like, bring it.
Chris, that is adorable. Let me tell you.
It is, right? I love it. But yeah, that's it for me. Still loving that game. But yeah. I think that's everything, right? Is there any other games that we did not cover that anybody wants to discuss?
I don't know. I've got to spend next week in Florida with the in-laws. And I got to decide what the fuck I'm going to take, like console or PC. I think I'm leaning console.
Do you have a Steam Deck? I can't remember if you have a deck.
I did, but I gave it away. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, maybe the PS5, and maybe I'll play Grand Blue, maybe.
Yeah. Is Grand Blue? Are you playing Grand Blue on PS5?
Yep.
Yeah, bring PS5, play Grand Blue, and we'll play some Helldivers too.
Jeez, Helldivers. I could bring my.
Yeah, you got to buy its own fucking seat.
I'm gonna be on Wi-Fi though, so. Jeez, we're not flying though, so we're driving. Yeah,
Wi-Fi is fine for Helldivers.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it works out. Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi. So
yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi too. I only plug in for fighting games.
Gotcha. Plug it in.
Why don't you plug us in some news?
Yeah.
Let's plug in some news.
All right, Jeff, what you got, man?
So let me put on my news spectacles.
Hell yeah.
Oh, there we go. It looks newsworthy now.
I know.
So I'm going to lead with this one because when this was said, it was leading into what we're going to talk about after this. President of Sony, Ken Yoshida, said in a recent interview that wherever there is computing, users will be able to play their favorite games seamlessly. Whilst PlayStation will remain our core product, we'll expand our game experiences to PC, mobile, and cloud.
Yeah.
This is when he was asked, basically, and this came after the rumors that like PlayStation 5, well, not rumors, PlayStation 5 sales have dropped significantly. But I just got to address something here. Everyone's saying like, oh no, it's like people are losing interest. Like no,
everybody
people aren't losing interest.
This is normal.
Yeah, everyone has a PS5, and the market that they were going for initially is coming to its ceiling. So unless there's a price drop or something, that next market isn't going to buy one right now. So that's why it's gone down. That's just fucking normal.
And since Sony is dumb and essentially fucking raised the price anyway.
Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah.
Hey, let's make another digital version and increase the price of it $50. It sounds great.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So this was an interview based on that, and he said he wants to aggressively try to widen their margins for profit. So basically, I think the writing's on the wall, and this is also 2 days after Helldivers did so well, and I can see them pivoting more to releasing more stuff on PC sooner than they have been.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a thing. But that comes on the tail end of a shitload of rumors that got spread by leaks by insiders on the Twitters and the interwebs, and that gets picked up by even some big media outlets regarding Xbox and their business plan and moving forward, what they're doing. So they had it's kind of like a podcast event type thing, video thing. Like it wasn't like I don't even know what you want to call it.
I didn't even know they had a podcast.
Oh yeah, they've had a podcast ever since ever since the Major Nelson days. But so they had it on that, and it was aired today. Yeah. So we're gonna play a game. Well, not a game. I'm just gonna. The way I have this here is it's gonna be rumor versus reality, because the internet was about to lose their shit, or they were losing their shit.
They were losing their shit
last week.
This is some chicken little shit, man.
Yeah.
God damn.
And we decided.
I hope we learned our lesson.
I am so happy we didn't talk about it, dude, because we would be literally sitting here today being like, well, like that's
scratch all that.
Part of the problem.
So much for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
It was definitely the right call to put that off. So
it's okay. So one of the main four things they addressed, the rumor that was going around, Xbox is going full third party, and Starfield and Indiana Jones are two big games that are be coming to PlayStation 5 and or Switch this year.
And that was the rumor you said, right?
That was the rumor.
Okay.
They confirmed that no Starfield or Indiana Jones is not going to other platforms, but there are 4 games coming to PlayStation 5 and or Switch. They didn't name them, but the writing's on the wall. Phil Spencer said 2 of them are community driven, and 2 of them are smaller niche games where the better audiences just make sense for it. And it's pretty much, I think it's going to be these 4 games. You guys, if you guys think there's another one in there, I think there might be one that would be kind of big that maybe is a thing, but I think it's going to be Sea of Thieves, Grounded, because those make sense, games as a service, and the other 2 games, Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment. I think is going to be.
Okay, Pentiment would be a good one to go over too. Yeah.
Oh, what about Killer Instinct? That'd be rad.
Oh, but dude, I didn't even think about that. I think for Killer Instinct 2, I think that would happen.
Yeah.
I don't know about bringing the
crossplay and shit. They just had a crossplay with PC, so
they did. Yeah. Yep.
Oh.
I actually thought, and I still think might still happen. I think it makes sense to bring Halo multiplayer to PlayStation 5.
That'd be cool.
They don't have a game in that market that's similar to that. Why not let it be Halo multiplayer? I know it's a big flagship Xbox game. I get it. People will be upset. People will be pissed. But it makes sense as it is a game. I don't think it will now. I'm thinking like maybe not. But those are the 4, I think. So the other one, the rumor, Game Pass will no longer have first-party games day and date because the service is not sustainable.
I did not have a single worry about this being true.
They've been so adamant about this from day one. Like I don't feel like that was ever an issue.
No, I didn't think so either. But again, guys, we are smarts. We have the brains, and Twitter collectively. Yeah,
I know a guy from a guy that's friends
who
with.
knows a guy.
Yeah, that I met at an event one time.
Yep, exactly.
My father's brother's nephew's cousin.
And the rumor, what they came out and said, no, all first-party games are still going to be day and date on Game Pass, and also added no, Game Pass is also not showing up on any other platforms. So that was another part of this one, was they're exiting the hardware market, and Game Pass is going to be on PlayStation. So they said, nope, that's not happening. And they also said that Activision Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, with the first one being Diablo 4 in March. Yeah. So rumor.
And
did not happen.
And Glenn wants everybody to know that he called it.
That's right.
Good job, Glenn.
Going to Game Pass.
Yeah, he called it.
He knew a guy.
He knew a guy.
the next rumor. Well, I kind of already mentioned it, but this is the Xbox Series consoles will be the last console, and they're leaving the hardware space to go third party. They confirmed two things. One, they have a hardware announcement or something coming this year, possibly, I guess, E3 or the fall. And they're already working on the next gen version of the Xbox, which they said is going to be their biggest leap in technology that they've ever done from console to console.
Cool.
That's hard to believe, but okay.
I think that's believable. I mean, every console is always way more powerful than the other one. So
yeah, but I guess the reason I say that is because I feel like we're getting to a point where visually
returns,
visually we're seeing diminishing returns, and it's more about getting all of the realistic effects going, and that's why we see a lot of ray tracing now and things like that. So it's less about the visual fidelity and more about how good do the reflections look in that window, and are they accurate? I feel like that's where we're going. So it's like the biggest leap. It's like how much are you going to get in return?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
What I got from that is expensive. That's what I got from that.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. What I think it's going to be.
But I like that ecosystem.
Xbox Series
Z. Yeah. Like I like that they've got such a wide net with their consoles. I guess they've got consoles. They've got PC. They might be going back into handheld stuff. I like being able to cross play and cross save. That's and I'm probably in the minority, but that sort of stuff gets me to buy an Xbox.
Cross-play and cross-save is great. They said that they want to focus on cross-save for sure. Good. and cross-play. They want to get that working in all of their stuff. So that's big, especially if you're bouncing from thing to thing.
Yeah.
So
one of the things that I think Microsoft is doing really well is the hardware side of things. Like I don't, from the perspective of them going third party, even if they had decided to do full third party, I still think they would make hardware, because what they're doing is giving people an entryway into gaming, because PCs are so expensive, right? Like the Xbox, the Series S and Series X, they give the people options that to play these games that are high-end PC, quality on these boxes that are significantly less money than PCs. And I think that is something they would continue regardless. I think that's the right way to do it.
Could you imagine if they went Linux-based with a handheld to compete with a Steam Deck?
Well, that's what I think is. I think their hardware announcement this year is going to be a Series S type level handheld,
really,
or maybe more powerful. I don't know, but that runs Game Pass natively. That the Linux stuff, I don't know about that. That's you can
that's what
take
Steam
over
Deck
that
runs on, but.
Yeah, Steam Deck runs on Linux, but that's not something that Microsoft will do owning Windows. So
no,
that's the problem there.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be, and I think it's going to be like the Switch, where it can also hook up to your TV.
And if that happens, do you think Sony will be okay with being the only major hardware developer without a handheld, without a native handheld in their hands?
Like that they're all in on.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not a native handheld. Yeah. Like I can imagine Sony being like, "Are we seriously going to be the only ones that don't have a handheld now?"
Dude, like the Vita just had the worst fucking timing. Like it,
because that was such a good piece of hardware. Like it really was. And I don't know. I think there was there was a bad taste in some of the developers' mouths when it came to like the PSP and things like that. But man, I wish the Vita would have done better.
God, I love that console.
It's so good.
I love it.
I kind of regret getting rid of it, but at the same time,
me too.
I got a Switch out of it. So
I was so happy to get a PS TV, the Vita TV. Do you guys
remember that?
That was super cool. Not everything.
I have one of those too. I don't have it hooked up right now.
For the longest time, that was the only way to play Persona 4 Golden on a big TV. That was the only way to do it.
All right, yeah, I like that. So what do we gather about this week, guys? Don't these insiders and shit on Twitter just
okay? You motherfuckers need to chill the fuck out. That's what y'all need to do. like
real talk moments with Travis Baum.
We see enough of this, like fighting against online misinformation and people getting worked up for something that's not real. We see it with like real world stuff, war, politics, all that jazz, sports, whatever. Like you see it everywhere. And this is like, we've seen misinformation in the gaming space before, but like this is the first time we've seen it and like just everybody ran with it.
Dude,
and you're right.
My dad texted me. If some kind of video game news reaches my dad, it's something that people are talking about.
Oh, it was on Forbes. It was on it was all over the place. And I love, Jeff, I commend you on the way that you laid out that news, kind of like with a contrast and compare of like what the rumor was versus the actual truth from today. And yeah, it's just it's a great example of like, just, it's one of the first stories we learned as kids, like the boy who cried wolf, right? Like,
yeah.
Eventually these insiders, if they keep doing shit like this, they're going to lose their credibility and we don't have to worry about them anymore. But like, it's just kind of like that world we live in right now, unfortunately. Like, if people are quick to just either read the headline or just read the tweet that's on their feed and then reply with, "Oh my God, this is crazy." And it's like, well, let's take a second. Yeah. But it's harder when the people who are saying these things are inside sources, people with inside sources who have been right before. And that was like the problem. It's like everybody was
some of the clown. And then everyone kind of domino effect. They go because they want the hits, they want the clicks, they want the interactions and all that stuff. And
got to be first.
What really bugs me, and this is where I'm just kind of having no confidence in legit. Well, I'm using legit in air quotes here, but gaming media sites that also pick these things up, and even though they report it as being rumors from these insiders, they still run articles that and millions of people see. And they talk about it, and then they, even if it's a rumor, it's still, people hear what they want to hear, or they don't, like, even wording can be misconstrued. Like, Microsoft is considering bringing Halo to PS5. I sure hope they considered it at least. Like, that's to be something they should be doing as a business, is being like, should we do it? Like, someone in a meeting should probably put their hand up and be like, maybe Halo? And they're like, oh, that's considering it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But all of them, all the big sites, all ran with this on their podcasts and on their sites with articles saying, like, is this happening? What's going to happen? And fucking the sky is falling. And there's still some people like that. Even after all this, there's still people being like, well, if you're actually paying attention to what they say, I'm like, oh God, Jesus, you don't learn, like, Jesus Christ.
Xbox influencers are crying and saying, I'm not going to support my platform anymore.
There's one dude who I don't follow on there, but he's a well-known Xbox influencer who lost his shit, threw a tantrum, basically was like, that's it, I'm done with this company, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my God. And there's people taking pictures of
a company. My God.
It's bad. It was bad. But hey, it turned out to be business as usual. Well, and honestly, PlayStation guys are getting I can speak freely about two of the games I played. Sea of Thieves is good, just I didn't get too into it because when I played it, it wasn't what it is now. Hi-Fi Rush is fucking awesome.
People that have PlayStation, if you haven't played Hi-Fi Rush, you should absolutely be buying that.
Yeah.
Absolutely be buying that.
Yeah. And people like to seem to like Grounded again, though. That's another one of those Pal World
survival
type things.
Game. So that's an out for me. I don't know what the other one is.
Pentiment is it's the John Sawyer joint that
it's the Obsidian game. It's a 2D. It has like a very authorian look to it, kind of like what's the art style, like I said, Arthurian. It's kind of like the art style in a book if you're reading Gawain and like the Green Knight or something like that. It's kind of Renaissance artwork, and it's basically an investigation murder mystery. And it's I played maybe the first 2 hours. It's very, very interesting, but I was in the middle of like 5 games and I just dropped off.
There was a lot of talk about that game during Game of the Year talks.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of. I don't think it's voice acted though, right? I think it's mostly all.
It's all text.
Text, and it's it's you got to pick. It's morally based and stuff like that. It's Yeah, I haven't played it, but I've heard good things of people who have played it. I just don't think I could do it. It's too, I don't know, hoity-toity for me. I don't know what this is. It's like I like the other games that they make. The ones where you stab stuff and like shoot stuff. But that's
let me touch on one thing real quick.
Totally.
There's something to be said for Xbox kind of shooting itself in the foot, both with how long they took to respond.
Oh my god!
And then also kind of making, if they're going to be bringing this many games to other platforms, are they shooting themselves in the foot? And giving themselves less exclusives and less reasons for people to buy an Xbox. But as I mentioned before, they foster the PC as well. So that particular system, with Game Pass, with cross save, cross play, it really makes me want to buy an Xbox. And it's less about the games that they have on there, the exclusives that they have on there, I guess.
The industry's changing. Yeah. And I mean, they're taking notice. I mean, they have to do something. They're in last place. And the fact is that Sony's even considering some of the stuff they're doing, that says something that the third place guys are doing something that they're like, fuck, maybe we should probably do some of that. Money makes the world go around.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed that when we see there are some games, especially third-party titles, that when we see them head to Game Pass, we also see them head to PS Plus.
Yeah.
And one is Tales of Arise, because you posted it that it was coming to Game Pass. Just saw it's coming to PlayStation Plus, the extra.
Whatever the mid one is or whatever.
Yeah, the mid one. So it's coming to that too. So
cool.
Yeah. So Jeff posted that in Discord that it's coming to Game Pass, which is great because I've wanted to play that game too. And Travis mentioned it. It's on his it's on his list, right?
I played a little bit of it. It's pretty great, actually.
It looks great.
Yeah, I just know how long that fucking game is. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's getting to the point where it's almost worth having both services if you don't like to play games during like the height of the zeitgeist type thing. And they all, like, most of the third party stuff tends to kind of go back and forth. Like, yeah, PS Plus got Far Cry 6 at some point, and like a month later it was on Game Pass, and then vice versa. Like stuff, Plague Tale Requiem started off on Game Pass. I think that's on PS Plus now. I think
it is now.
Yeah. So it's I mean, they're worth it, and they're definitely sustainable to a point. But you got to do more with, like, $300 million games aren't going to cut it for any of these platform holders.
No.
And unless they go the way of Nintendo and have way less budgets and sell way more and make money off hardware. Because,
And in order to do that, they'd have to not have the biggest leap from one console to the other.
No, they would have to have a regression.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I think that one of the things that he said that I found really interesting when I was listening to the podcast is that the industry itself is not growing right now, and one of their things that they're trying to do is figure out a way to grow it in the right way, rather than making the current customers pay more for things. How do we get new customers into the industry, into into
their
gaming
ecosystem? Yeah,
right. And I think that's the right way to look at things. Like, we want more players to be involved. We want more players to be in gaming, right? So that's the right direction to go.
Yeah, what's the opposite for all the people that were like getting pissy? You want to spend $130 on a game and have less people play it? Like, that's the only other option, is raise the prices to everything, which, I mean, could still happen anyway.
It's already
Rockstar saying,
right? It's like
Rockstar said they want to they wouldn't mind spending charging $120 for fucking Grand Theft Auto 6.
There are a ton of games that are coming out that have $100 price point because of the deluxe and triple deluxe editions. Like, they're slowly trying to integrate this and normalize these, like, $80, $90, $100 games.
Very true.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Rebirth, if you get the deluxe edition, it's $100. So, and if you want the Steelbook, that's what you got to get, right, Jeff? So,
yeah. Nice.
But yeah, I look at the change in price over just the last 2 generations, right?
Mhm.
So
Like
we've
$30,
gone
I think.
Yeah, from 50 to 70. It's been rough.
Oh,
so
standard editions here are $100 with tax, so they have been for a bit. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's messed up.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's even worse in Australia. So
oh, they get it up the poop. Yeah, they get it hard there.
I'm
New
playing my shit
Zealand
on
and those
PC
places.
on a VPN if I'm in Australia.
Okay, you know what people need to fucking do? Because PC gamers don't take shit, and I fucking love that. They won't stand for $80, $90, $100 games.
No.
Because look, and proof is in the pudding. The games that come out on console and on PC, they're always $10 cheaper on PC. I mean, maybe there could be a platform tax there. I'm not sure how that works.
There's less of that nowadays, but
is there?
It's still happens,
there's still you still see $70 games on Steam.
Absolutely.
And Steam charges them like 30% or something like that. So
yeah, I paid like close to $100 for Tekken, with the season pass and shit like that. So
yeah.
Okay. Well, I take it back then. All those PC gamers aren't that. I don't give. They are taking it.
Yeah.
We need more developers to do. And I know that we bring this up. We bring up this game a lot, but we need more developers to do what Larian did. Like they put a lot of effort into a game, and they put it out there for $60, and it sold like fucking mad. And
they did have upper hand though. They had 2 games before that did really, really well, especially on PC. That kind of funded a lot of that. So they. Yes, I agree with that. That's gonna. I think they had a little bit of a
big publishers that could easily do that, though.
100%.
There's big AAA publishers that could easily do that.
Definitely, especially the AAA ones. Yeah. There's no reason for half of those games to be the prices they are.
Agreed.
And have microtransactions.
Definitely agreed.
So Helldivers 2, we're all buying it, right?
Yeah, apparently. Because we're all suckers. That's why. Cool. Anything else we want to talk about before we wrap up and get out of here?
I think we're good.
I think so.
All right. Well, good job, guys. Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please tell a few friends about us. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. All those things help us out a lot. Check out interactivedistractions.com. That leads to our Linktree, and you can get to our YouTube, our Patreon, and our Discord. And we would really appreciate seeing you at any or all of those. It'd be great.
Come hang out. It's fun.
Come hang out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we love talking to the people in Discord. It's fun.
Very chill in there.
Indeed. So until next time, my name is Chris.
I am Travis.
I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next week.
That ended up being more Crazy Taxi than Hawaiian, but yeah.